I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
When talking about consistency in the NBA, the first team that comes to mind is the San Antonio Spurs. But another team that has been extremely consistent in making the playoffs is the Utah Jazz, having only missed it 8 times in the last 35 years. However, unlike the Spurs, the Jazz have continuously failed to win a championship and in the last decade, failed to get even close to the NBA Finals. It's been a struggle to get back to the top of the West for them. They haven't smelt a finals berth since the Stockton days, but after this offseason, I actually think the squad are within a chance. In today's video, I'll be going over why I think the Utah Jazz will have a great 2020 season and potentially be a top 2 seed in the Western Conference. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz had a pretty good year last season. They finished 5th and managed to win 50 games, which is actually pretty decent considering their star player was only in his sophomore season. They had league best defense and were extremely hard to get by, thanks to their anchor in the paint, Rudy Gobert. However, the lack of offensive power became obvious in the playoffs, as Donovan Mitchell struggled to get going in the first round, resulting in an early exit. Just a 5-game series. The Jazz had great defense, but needed more offensive star power. So, this offseason, they went out and got some. The first guy they got was Mike Conley. In a trade that sent Grayson Allen, Kyle Korver, and Jay Crowder to Memphis, the Jazz received all-star caliber guard Mike Conley. Conley is a huge pickup for the Jazz and is going to help them out a lot. Firstly, he's a star guard, and though he hasn't made an all-star game yet, he has certainly deserved it. This past season, he averaged a career-high 21.1 points per game, 6.4 assists, and 1.3 steals per game, while shooting 43% from the field and 36% from 3. Those are all-star numbers, but he yet again was snubbed. Maybe it's due to him playing in Memphis, maybe there are too many all-star caliber guards in the West, who knows, but that's not the point of discussion. He's a major pickup for Utah. He adds the extra offensive star power the team needs desperately, whilst also keeping the team's defensive mindset. Conley is an above average defender, and I think he's going to fit in great in Utah. Alongside Donovan Mitchell, I have a feeling this team will go far. Just the prospect of these two playing together gets me excited for the upcoming season. Another brilliant pickup made by the Utah Jazz this offseason was Bojan Bogdanovic. Bojan is an elite offensive player and was a key contributor to the success of the Indiana Pacers last season, even with Victor Oladipo out for most of it. He played 81 of 82 games last season and averaged 18 points and almost 50% shooting efficiency. Obviously, he's not going to produce these kind of stats again, particularly the 18 points per game, but the key thing he brings to the Jazz is efficient shooting. The Jazz's biggest issue last season was shooting, and Bogdanovic improves it a ton. Last season, he shot over 42% from the 3-point line and has a career percentage of 39%. Ever since entering the league, his percentage has only improved, and now with him playing alongside Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell, I expect him to improve it even more, with the great looks the 2-star guards will find him. He helps with the spacing too of this team. Last season, Bogdanovic was underrated. Let's not make him that again. He's an incredibly solid player and will be a major key to the success of Utah next season. Let's not forget about Donovan Mitchell. After a slow start to his sophomore season, he arguably had a sophomore slump, Mitchell took off in the second half of the year. He's been absolutely unreal for the Jazz these past 2 seasons, taking them to improbable playoff wins. After he was drafted, the Jazz were not in a good situation at all, but he took the lead and commanded the Jazz and has taken them a lot further than anyone thought imaginable. He upped his stats this past season from 20 points per game to 23 and continued to shoot at a respectable level. His 3-point game is continuously improving, his athleticism is out of this world, he has the energy to get his teammates involved in every play. Now, with an even better supporting cast, he looks ready to improve again and potentially make his first ever All-Star game and maybe even take Utah on a deep playoff run. The final guy I want to talk about today is Rudy Gobert. Gobert is arguably the most essential piece to the Jazz's team. Without him, their defense would not be as good as it is at all. He is the anchor to their playstyle. He's a double-double machine and one of the best blockers in the league. Without question, he's the best rim protector. Last season, he was snubbed from the All-Star game due to Dirk Nowitzki's tribute, and it's clear he wasn't happy with that. There is a fire inside of him now to prove he deserved to be there, and I'm expecting him to go all out next season. The back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year is going to play a huge role in the success of this team next season. Right at the start of the video, I said the Utah Jazz could become a top 2 seed in the Western Conference, and whilst it's not that likely, I do stand by it. There is actually a pretty good chance this team goes that far in the regular season next year. Because just think about this, the Jazz have a starting lineup of Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, most likely Joe Ingles at small forward, then Ed Davis and Rudy Gobert as the big men. Plus, they have guys like Bogdanovic and Emmanuel Mudiay off the bench. That's a pretty deadly core on paper and should not be slept on at all. Overall though, I love the prospect of this Jazz team. They are all around great. They have the defensive powerhouse in Gobert, and after this offseason, they now have brilliant offensive talent too that has been needed so they can get over the line. The Utah Jazz are a much better team than people give them credit for. They're the best defensive team in the league and have just been needing that extra offensive talent to push them over the line. They now have that in Conley and Bojan. Trust me, they are a sleeper for a top 2 seed in the West next season. But what do you guys think of this? Could the Jazz be a top 2 seed in this upcoming season? How many wins do you guys have them getting? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.